All right.
That's what that little plant.
Like it's, yeah, doing a new stream.
Yeah, it's got to be a new stream. Sorry about that, everybody. Let's let everybody filter back. I had like 25 people in there.
Yeah, I just called a new stream.
Music screw with people.
Right?
Maybe
Well,
it's
this is
here where the fans blow.
I think we should completely switch people and say
Yeah,
the
they
same
should all
name.
get up and leave and walk.
Say the same names.
all right.
I don't even know why I'm sitting here.
Just put all the kids in chairs.
Phone overheated. All right. So the question was tips for the beginner blacksmith is where we were at.
My tip was just focus on what you truly have an initial desire for, whether it's knives, hammers, tools, and antique reproductions, and learn the skills for that particular item, and then broaden them.
Yeah.
I mean, I started doing antique reproductions,
Yeah.
and then I do the full scope.
Start with what you want to do to learn that skill. Absolutely.
Focus in on details.
Yeah.
So perfect. You're saying pick something and perfect it.
Perfect it.
And
the
then
skills needed, and then broaden.
and then broaden.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be a knife maker, get making a basic knife down, get the heat treat down, and then start with Damascus or something like that.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, any art form, especially as far as I'm concerned, working with metal and forging, your imagination is the limitation of your creativity. So if you can develop your skills, you can let your mind run wild.
Very good. Yeah.
Coming from the man that makes fish.
That's awesome. I love your fish, by the way. Great to have you. Great to have you here. You know, definitely a treat. So what's up, Speargrass, Henry St. Forge, Holler? All right. Totally opposite to what many people give. Yeah. Same question. Yeah. Like beginner tips. Like what would you one tip you would give to somebody starting out?
Don't give up.
In a nutshell, absolutely.
You're gonna have stuff that's not gonna work out. You're gonna burn steel. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna probably damage your first anvil by mishits.
Yeah.
You're gonna damage your hammer. Yeah, you might damage your face. But stay at it. If you feel passionate about it, it's the same way with anything in life. If you're passionate about it, stick with it, and you'll excel. That's my 2 cents. I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, but
We'll get to your question here in a minute, Gordon. Beginner tips.
Beginner tip.
I got to keep my body between the phone and the fire here.
I go with what I said originally. Don't be scared to try. I mean that's the biggest thing I think it stops a lot of people from doing stuff is they're worried about failing before they even try to do it. So try it. Like Han said, you're gonna have failures, but you're not gonna have a failure success unless you try it to begin with. So
Yeah.
I'd say that's definitely
What we learned today, failure in the bloom that we did was just a first attempt in learning.
right. I mean, sometimes in failure you figure out exactly what you did wrong. That way you know how to hopefully get it right the next go around. But
the dumbest question's the one unasked.
Share the stream, guys. There's some good stuff here. All right, same question to you. No, okay.
What are you talking about?
So, to somebody fresh starting out, you know, some bit of good.
He's a full-time smith now.
Yeah, you're a full-time smith, so
Kind of goes along with what Hans said about mishits and stuff. I've had a lot of people when I've done demonstrations come up and ask me about getting into it, what they need, and they want to find this beautiful old anvil, and but they're so expensive.
I'm gonna ask you too.
I tell every one of them, don't buy that old expensive anvil. Go on Amazon and get one of the cheap ones to start with. You're gonna miss hits. You're gonna chip the edges. Get a cheap one. A month down the road, you might decide, well, this ain't for me. Now you're not out that $600-700 you just spent on that Peter Wright.
Right.
You know, get cheap stuff to start with. If you don't end up liking it, you're not out anything. and you're not going
Not
to
out of
damage a
fun.
good anvil. Yeah,
What,
yeah.
what is it? Adam Savage does a thing, and he always says the trick of it is he buys cheaper tools that he thinks he needs, and then he figures out which of them he uses the most and
Exactly.
damages, then he buys the most expensive. He said it's the way to figure out
What you'll
what
use,
you are
what you're gonna
need.
use.
Correct.
You don't want to have an expensive,
Yeah.
wrench sitting around that collects dust.
I've got a $106 anvil sitting on the back of the truck that I bought off of Amazon for beginners when I teach them.
There you go.
All right. To you, Squad Father, you beard and a hat. What advice you would give to a beginner blacksmith? Friends, very good.
Yes.
Very good.
That's my advice.
Make friends in the community. If you're,
Never-ending source of information.
Yep.
yep. If you that kind of goes with what I was thinking. If you're alone in the community, it will be a
It's alone.
pain
You're
to
alone.
grow.
You're never going to stop learning.
Now, North. This is North from North Star Forge. He swings a hammer. Okay. To somebody who's never picked up a hammer, what would you tell them? If one of your friends was asking you, "Hey, what's up? How do I do this?" What would you tell them?
Try to learn from someone who has experience. So all of these people around me, they have way more experience than me. Yes, you do. So I try to learn from them as much as I can. So upset corners, how to specific striking, strike here, not there, that sort of stuff. Just try to learn as much as you can about blacksmithing or knife smithing, toolsmithing, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
That's what I would say.
absolutely. Very. Blacksmiths, or ask several different sources, check several different videos. Says I'm live. Yeah. And then try the different things and see what works for you. Okay. Hey, Will, I'm going to take this moment now that everybody's answered that question and say hello to everybody. Metal Man, what's up? Hey, Speargrass, what's up, Will? We're doing a Q&A, and then I'm going down the line for questions. The next question in the line was...
No.
Okay,
Which one is
No.
I'll just say this now. In a nutshell, the question is how to stop thin round stock from burning too quickly. Hey, Cat.
Get out of the fire.
Take it out of the fire. It's all fire control. And I think everybody here would tell you the same thing.
No distractions.
Yep. Yep.
Tell your wife.
Yep.
Put your phone down.
Yep.
A propane forge will definitely help with that, but fire management.
There we go. Sorry about all the connection trouble. It's really that my take on it.
I'll go down the line.
Yeah, all right. What's a good best-selling beginner project?
Best-selling beginner project? Well, just like,
I know you do multi-million-dollar installations.
yeah, not that big yet.
Aluminum
Yeah,
bones.
that boy, Dave.
I did like how you said that.
It's all attitude.
Yeah, there you go. Beginner projects, S-hooks, keychains, bottle openers, things where you can kind of learn the basics, but also expand as far as the design and the way you produce it, as far as traditional forging techniques.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's I think, yeah, easy to sell beginners projects.
Awfully close, aren't you?
Blocking the fire.
Oh, okay. Whatever you want to call it.
What you got?
No.
What you got, Hans?
I would say same as him, but I'll expound on it slightly with like candle holders, sconces. It's a little more maybe intermediate, but
Something to work towards.
but they're fairly simple. I mean, fairly simple projects. but they sell.
Yeah.
So, bottle openers. Not headdresses.
And Babo.
Yeah, I'd say bottle openers. I mean, for my market, that was kind of the biggest thing. I mean,
Right.
don't jump into hammers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd say bottle openers.
Beginner projects.
My biggest seller, anything else, and if you come up with a really good design, they're a big seller, big hit. Shows, Etsy, whatever. I mean, I sell mine on Etsy. I've sold well over 100 of them in 3 years since I've been making them.
I got a question for you coming up.
Steak flippers.
Oh no.
Throw some steak flippers better, but as a beginner, I mean, don't jump right into forge welding. Give it a little time. It's cool, but
Fire's blowing right on me. All right. What's beginner project? I know you were just talking about S-hooks.
S-hooks, man. I sell S-hooks like crazy, especially springtime. All the people going to the garden centers. Hit up the garden centers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mule Kick.
I've sold more S-hooks than he sold hairpins.
overachiever.
Yeah. In less than time, too.
North. Beginner projects that would sell. I know you're still learning, but what do you think?
S hooks, like maybe gardening shovels.
There you go. Yeah. That's
So,
just taking a piece of flat stock, practicing riveting.
yeah, putting the curve nails.
There you go.
Yeah, S hooks, the little gardening shovels, and
J-hooks.
J hooks. Hook at the top and just nail it in. It's okay.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. That's what I would say.
When you drive hooks, when you get to craft sales at your school, you're gonna be way up there. More specifics. Okay. Cat Van Forge had an inflation question, which would be for you. 5 pounds, 85 pounds for
Doing inflation?
to do an inflation.
No.
You need much more?
I use 120 when I'm on 14 gauge was about 093.
Okay. I don't know specifics of all of that. Kat, I hope you were listening. And I hope...
Disclaimer. I don't think inflating steel, if you've never done it, is something you should try on your own.
It has its chance for hazard, yes. Especially if you don't have the welding skills.
Yeah.
So
Kat, you there?
Maybe find someone and go from there. But
Someone that offers classes.
yes.
Yeah.
I believe there's a man.
But that's Cat Van Forge. She's all the way up in Canada.
Well, she can drive to PA.
Yeah.
We'll give her a class.
Yeah. Cat Van Forge. Drive down over here to visit David Fisher. Yeah. And
he does classes.
He does classes on it.
I took one, and I'm probably gonna take another.
A minute ago
One,
you said you were.
2, 3.
But yeah, he says for 14 gauge is 120. I'd love to try it, but I know my welding skills aren't up to par. I know that for a fact.
What do you use to weld them? Do you TIG or MIG or?
I TIG.
Okay.
I mean, you can MIG, but I like TIG because I don't want to have a lot of metal cleanup.
Right. Beautiful stuff. All right, thank you. What's up, SS? Bill Corey, how you doing? Corey Shire's rolling in. All right, I had a question for, where was it? Hans, why are you being so stingy with Wi-Fi? Give me your password. No. Metal Man to North Country Forge. Any new stuff coming out? Howdy, Lauren.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I want to do some hinges for a old medieval stocks.
Right. Oh,
And,
cool.
Yeah. I'm also going to be building a full-size crow cage. Like, you've seen the movie Willow?
Oh, really?
I want to build a full-size crow cage to hang when I do the Renaissance Fair.
Are you gonna make it so you can climb in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then look out for more lighting type stuff, medieval-looking lanterns and stuff like that.
Yeah, I gotta get with you to learn some of that stuff. That's the stuff I'm trying to
We got
do.
over more of the projects I'm doing.
All right. Old Wolf says North is the man. BC says hello to everyone at the Wild Hans Ranch. There was another question that said, question from Will Batrick. if cost is not a major concern, would y'all recommend having both a coal and a gas forge to do small stock stuff in the gas to minimize burn risk?
Yes.
Absolutely.
But I
Yes.
think you should learn on the coal.
Yeah, definitely. Coal.
Coal for
Big thing with coal, don't turn your back on it. Keep
Yeah.
an eye on it, and you won't burn up stuff as much.
Yeah.
You gotta learn the basics,
you
man.
did.
You gotta learn the basics.
Even I have both. I just rarely use propane.
I love coal,
I'm a
but I do
propane
have both.
primary.
Yeah, propane primary with a secondary
But it's
coal.
also
Secondary coal.
what you
But,
can
yeah,
use in
correct.
the city that you live in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, now
I have the advantage. Hans can use coal all we want.
I can. Nobody really
I'm in the
bothers
country.
me where I'm at.
I
But
can use coal, but it depends what I'm doing.
what's that?
I stayed the same question.
Okay.
So I mean, like I said, I do propane's my primary, but I find for like doing the bigger hammer billets and stuff that's the best. But my coal, I tend to do forge welding. I find that easier to do in the coal. So they definitely both have their pros and cons.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Long pieces or big projects like feathers, whatever. Propane, you can heat up the whole piece, mark it, do whatever you want. Isolated short heats.
Yep, in my shop primarily propane. In the last year, we added an induction forge for isolated heats. So
Yes.
new world there.
Yes.
Or a big Johnson or a big L&L specialty furnace. We can heat and anneal up to 39 inches.
Oh wow.
Now when I came over and you just got the induction forge, what size stock were you heating up in that and doing?
While doing the upsets,
Yeah.
we were heating 1/2 by 1 hot rolled to upset it for a Gothic arch where the top of the arch was thicker than the parent bar. And we could heat for the upset in 35 seconds.
Oh.
So can't even touch that with acetylene.
Got any schematics?
Induction forge cost me $950.
That's it.
Plus, then you got to put a water cooler on it or hook it up to a water hose.
It's way cheaper than I thought.
That- yeah. How's the electric bill on something like that?
That's what everybody says, but I'll tell you what, the electric usage is far, far less than if I was doing those isolated heats with a rosebud and oxyacetylene.
Oh, I'll bet you. You know,
I never thought about
price deep. You know what you're. Okay.
That part I haven't messed with. I mean,
I'll
I
get-
modified the coil that
in a
came
minute,
with
middleman.
it. The coil, I could stick an 1.5 bar through it.
Wow.
That's a hammer billet right there.
There's a hammer billet without ever striking the match.
What's neat is the coils are nothing but regular plumbing copper that's soft soldered together. Because it's all frequency. That's what the water cooler is, to keep the coils from melting down.
Wow. All right. All right. So now Metal Man is requesting another roll call because he's not sure he's subbed to everybody. This man, gentlemen, doesn't happen to have a YouTube channel, but if you want to find him on Facebook and follow him to look at some of his stuff, is Fisher Forge. That's Dave.
Find me
Mr.
at fisherforge.com.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely worth a look.
Definitely worth a look. Tell us who you are and where to find you.
Hans Groff, Charming Hollow Forge.
All
Charming
over
Hollow
social
Forge
media.
On YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Yerps, and I recommends it. That's what Sweets appreciates is about you.
B&B Forge. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Very good.
North Country Forge, Instagram, Instagram, Facebook,
Joke will
YouTube.
never be funny.
North
Country Forge. All right.
Coffee's Forge, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yep. And Blank Chair Forge.
Yeah, no,
You can find everything from North at his dad's at Charming Hollow Forge. You know.
He hasn't made a North Star